Everyone doing? All right, doing great.
John, any updates on Lynch as far as his progress and if this very eventually would alter any sort of draft plan for you?
Mike's doing well. He had a significant surgery to repair that quad tendon, but just as Mike has always done, he attacks everything 100%, and his rehab's going really well. So we're pleased with his progress. We're going to give him the time he needs, so not only he gets back, but he gets back and is pain free and can play like we believe he's capable of playing. Hey, Troy. Yeah. So his situation, he injured his shoulder in the Dallas playoff game, and I think ironically protecting his thumb, trying not to land on his thumb, so he landed on his shoulder. It was one of those injuries where the recommendation from multiple doctors was let's try rehab first and see if the pain and some of the other symptoms went away. And that was the hope, obviously, but that wasn't the case as time went on. And I think in the last couple of days had another visit, and where the decision was made to go ahead and have that surgery. Anytime you have surgery, it's not a minor deal. Anytime it's the throwing shoulder, I understand the significance, but it is described as a minor surgery, and Jimmy's going to be fine. So, as for the trade, Jimmy's a part of us right now. A lot of people need or want quarterbacks right now, and he's obviously a guy they'd look at. So, yes, we have listened, but he's a part of us, and he's going to work diligently to get back from this surgery, if indeed. I mean, it's just preliminary. I haven't even talked to Jimmy yet, but it sounds like that's the decision right now to go ahead and have that. And, you guys know the same thing I know, which is that he can return to throwing late June, early July, and the prognosis is really good. So that's all good stuff.
Are you confident that you'll be able to get the extension done
Well, it will certainly be a challenge. I mean, as good a players as those guys are, but I do know this is that those guys are. In my mind, no absolutes, but those guys are going to be 49ers. They're foundational to what we do. On the field, their play is special, and off the field, in their own way, they've each become really big time leaders for our team. They make their teammates better, and we realize all that value. And two special players, good issue to have, and we do have good communication and good relationships with both their representatives as well as both the players. I think what I've learned in my going years in this business is when both sides have the motivation, deals can get done. So the timing, I have no idea, but we'll go to work here and have been working to try to do something.
see themselves kind of like that, being one of I guess just beyond the fact that he's really good player, why do you think that a guy like Deebo might not be prototype or something like that?
Yeah. Well, I completely different players, but I remember when I was playing in Tampa, Mike Allstott, no one wanted to sit on the bench because, when you're on defense, you wanted to go see what he was going to do. I think Deebo's kind of that same way. His play, and I always say, Herm Edwards used to tell me, you can be special when you have that skill and then you have that elite will. And I think when you watch Deebo play, that's what I see. And it's inspiring. It lifts everyone, and I think we get the same thing in our meetings. Who's the player you try to play like? I mean, we even have defensive players saying Deebo, and I think that speaks volumes for who he is. And the guy loves to play. He loves to win, and loves to compete. And it's been special to watch the young man develop.
Hey, John, what about what happened with Bosa? What do you guys think about Elijah
Yeah, with Elijah came in and had an unbelievable year, and really we call him Drano because he always finds the right gap. It's kind of like putting the Drano down the drain and it just finds it. That's what we call him because of his natural run instincts. He showed a ton of toughness because he battled some, they weren't significant. I guess they're always significant injuries, but things that he could play through, but he did. He kept showing up, and kid's going to be a really good football player. We believe the same for Trey. Trey, I think, had to make an adjustment to how you run in the NFL, and I think that's natural for rookies, and got in a situation where Elijah, was playing a lot as the season evolved. Deebo became a big part of what we were doing. We also had, Jeff Wilson once he got healthy. So it was Raheem at the start. So it was a crowded room. But Trey is someone we're really excited about, as we are with Elijah. And we like our depth in that room. And it's not bad to be able to turn to Deebo when you need a play or two. So. I think we look at each situation as a unique one, and this isn't something that we have a hard stand that coaches should never go. But looking at Mike McDaniel over there, and we're happy for guys like that who got opportunities. But with that comes some turnover in our coaching staff. So where we're traditionally really focused on evaluation at this time, and that solely, we also are doing some scheme work with our staff as we've got a lot of new people together. So. Kyle and I talked and felt like his time and his staff's time was best spent there. The great thing about what we've learned over the last couple of years is when we're interviewing players, those respective coaches and coordinators and, and Kyle will get on the Zooms. And so even though they aren't here, they are here. And we've got, we talk every night and we talk every morning. So it's communication's good. We just felt like that was best for our organization this week, and they're having a real productive week. Getting that scheme work done, getting used to each other as a staff, and also taking part in the evaluation process. Well, I came to this business because I was pulled by the opportunity to compete, and I think we have a very good team, and I think we've got an opportunity to get better, and I'm into that. It's flattering when people come, especially people whom you respect so much, old friends and whatnot, and show interest, and you listen, but ultimately I made a decision, my family made a decision that this is where my heart is at right now, and that's what I've always had guide me. So I'm happy to be here, and that's that. It is a lot of money, though. I can't believe they're paying that much for people that talk football. It's unbelievable. But in general, or are you talking here at the Combine? The biggest deterrent? Well, that position is so critical. Everything goes into it, their talent, just as every position, but everything's magnified at that position. Lots of times you have to make projections from college to the NFL because the game's played a little bit differently. Levels of competition. There's so many things that go into it, just like every position. But as I said, the import of that position just makes your decision so critical. So I just think it takes a lot of hard work. And it takes some good fortune to hit on the right guys. But when you do, it can do wonders for your team. What is the value of the Combine? I think the opportunity, I love the interviews. That's probably what I get the most out of. I love having the whole league here. So, when you're trying to get league business done, it's a really good opportunity to be able to communicate face to face. You're on various committees and with the competition committee yesterday, you're meeting with agents, talking about free agents. Everything's just right here. And so, this is, it's a tough week. The hours are long, but you can be extremely productive and you can get a lot done. But most of all, we're here as part of the evaluation process for these prospects. And as I say, the workouts are great and things catch your eyes in those workouts, but I can go home and watch those workouts, on tape. But the interviews, I think, is where I get the most. right next to the guy, looking a guy in the eye and feeling their energy or feeling their passion or not feeling that. And so that's really what the combine's all about for me.
John, you were sitting down last year trying to decide whether you pursue a quarterback in the draft. Was there any discussion about this draft class 2022? Were you able to sort of look forward
Yeah.
and say,
Yeah, we always task our college staff with forecasting. What are we looking at next year, even the year beyond? And as you get a couple years out, it's a little tougher. There's so many things that go into that. But yes, I think you're not doing your job if you're not doing that. So I'll leave it at that. But yes, yeah.
can you talk about having two quarterbacks, what it's like, especially with both quarterbacks last year?
It's a critical position to have depth at. Not only one guy, but you play a long season. It's a marathon, and your hope is that your starter stays healthy the entire year. But it behooves every team in this league to have quality depth at that position because it's such a critical piece to winning. I don't think so. There's always plan A, plan B, plan C, and we plan for all of that accordingly. Jimmy's, he's a big part of what we've done, and he's, like I said, he's still a part of us, and until that changes, we feel blessed that he is. And so, right now when we're talking about his shoulder, I'm worried about that for the Niners and for Jimmy. As far as anything else, like I said, we have had some discussions with teams and we'll continue to. But as of right now, he's a part of us.
What makes you confident? I know you know back in the game. What makes you confident?
Yeah, I think Mike's got some special qualities. First of all, he's uniquely intelligent. He really is. Uniquely creative. He's as hard a worker as I've seen. I'm an early riser, but I can't hang with Mike in that respect. I don't come to the office at 3:30, but Mike will, and Mike does. So he's a tireless worker. I think he's been exposed to some tremendous people he's worked under: Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak, Kyle Shanahan. All those wonder kids that were in Washington. I mean, he's been around them all. He's got a great way with people. His challenge, like most coaches, is he hadn't been out front, and so now he's going to be out front. But I'm excited to watch him take that next jump. I think, I'm good friends with Chris Greer. I think they'll mesh well together. I'm really excited. I also know there's a lot of value behind bringing Wes Welker and John Embry and some of the people that he's brought with him from our place that I think will really help him. And it looks like they've put together a heck of a staff, and I'm excited for Mike. I really am. I think highly of him as a person, as a friend. I have known him since he was a ball boy on my teams with the Denver Broncos, and I'm pulling for the guy. I think we all are because Mike's a special person, aside from being a special football coach. Yeah, there you are, Mikey. I didn't even know you were there. See you, buddy.
take three more.
Yeah, as well as you could humanly, as humanly possible. He's been tremendous. I think he's, there's the old saying. I don't think it's a saying. I think it's a reality that competition brings out the best of us all, and it certainly brought out the best of Jimmy. But this is a business too, and someone's trying to take your job, but in the midst of that, and him understanding full well the implications of everything we put into drafting Trey. Jimmy was raised a certain way, he is a certain way, and the class that he treated Trey with, and in terms of helping him in his development, I thought says volumes about who he is, who that family is, and I'll forever be grateful for that because he didn't have to do that. A lot of people don't do that. He did and still competed his tail off and held on. So it was impressive, and I forgot the initial question, but I'm just kind of speaking to him because that is in my heart. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I wish they had done it in 1993 before I took it, but we still, long before I got to the Niners, they'll give it to scouting assistants when they come in, just kind of a fun deal. But, you have to be adaptable. You got to be malleable to what's going on. The NFL made a decision to do that. It is difficult because more than anything, you use that, you have historic data on that, right? And so is it always transferable to football? No. Warren Sapp used to say, we're not sending rockets to the moon. We're playing football here. So, we need people with good football intelligence. And so how can you measure that? I think for a long time, that's what everyone's trying to find, that secret sauce. The answer usually is in the tape. It's usually in talking to coaches and players who've been around these kids. It's not about a test. So I think we'll be fine. But it is another tool that, you have 15, 20 years worth of data that you can kind of compare. Is there any correlation? And that kind of goes out the door unless you choose to do it yourself. And, I think every organization will make that decision on their own.
Last one, guys.
Yeah, but I really believe that that's something that's always been talked about. At least where I was at Tampa, at Denver, there was just a standard, and those were really good organizations that you conduct yourself a certain way. But absolutely, we certainly place an emphasis on that. I think it's the golden rule. You treat people like you want to be treated, and it's so important that everyone feels welcome, that everyone feels treated in the right way. And so I've always had a good experience. I know that's not always consistent, but I've always had a good experience in that. But absolutely, in today's world, it's a must.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right, thank you.
Did you enjoy that video? Make sure to check out these other ones.